Hey guys, Greg here, Underground Graphics. Today we're going to do a retro 4-bar. So if you've heard of that kit, it's something we did many months back. We did this back on a 2-door, which we did for one of our local customers, Bronco Outfitters. We did have plans to get this out on the market, make a kit of this, and so, I don't really know what happened, to tell you the truth, but we did have them back with a 4-door, and I wanted to put this on black. So this is going to be our 4-door kit. You can see here to my right. And we're going to do the full kit. I think just for the video we'll just do parts of it, and I'm sure it'll be edited, so you'll just see me kind of go through the whole thing. This does come as the sides only. There is an optional hood for that as well. This is also a color combo we're calling Desert Red. So it's not the same reds that we use in that 3-bar and that 5-bar kits that we also offer. Once this kit does go up on the site, obviously we'll be able to customize that if you want to do the brighter reds, if you want to do the blues. Additionally, we do have some more kits coming out shortly that have similar theme to this. That's going to go up the front, over the hood. But again, this has been a popular one from day one. It's just something that we haven't got to. So again, that 4-door version of that is going to be about the same. I think it's going to be the same price. Maybe a little bit more for that extra, but it's really not a whole lot. Anyway, this is our vehicle. This is a 22 Wild Track, I believe. We've already done the window tint on that. We are going to go back and do some expel on the front for that paint protection, do the amber overlays, do the letters on the grill, do a couple other things. The customer did supply us with some of those pieces already. So anyway, this is going to be start to finish, so this will be fun. So before we get started, I wanted to go over what we're going to need for that kit. When you get this kit, it's going to come pre-cut, pre-masked, ready to go. But you are going to have, you're going to need your own tape, scissors, and so forth. We are going to supply you with one of these squeegees. We do recommend, I don't think we have those felt tips on the site yet. It should be up soon, which will give you something like this. It'll be a blue end or some other color that's a felt tip. This is fine for going right over that vinyl. It's this mask is there to protect the vinyl. Now when you take that mask off and you're left with just the film with the gloss laminate, that's when you do want to be a little bit more careful. Again, these are fresh, they're new, they shouldn't scratch, but if you want to be more aggressive with it, then that's when you're going to want that soft edge on there. If you don't have that strip, you can also use a microfiber towel, an old t-shirt, just wrap it on the edge if you're going to go directly on that vinyl. Again, the masking tape is going to be our most important piece. Tape measure, if you've got a blade, just your standard hobby knife will work. I'm not even sure if we're going to need that, but it's nice to have it. And of course a heat gun. We do want you to use heat gun over the torch. You may see me bring out the torch. Try not to, I'm used to that. But again, that heat gun is going to have more controlled heat with that. You just want that to get nice and warm. If you need to soften up an area, and as well after when we go to post heat, we're going to want that heat gun, try to get that vinyl up to about 180 to 200 degrees, just to set that adhesive memory. Additionally, if you missed a spot on that vinyl as you're laying that down, you'll see that come up with some bubbles and stuff like that. Then you can let that cool, bring it back up, lay it back down, and then warm that again, make sure it's all down. Clean towels, we do reuse our microfibers here until they get really dirty, then we buy new ones. And then that alcohol water mix, and I think we're using 10 to 15% alcohol, and the rest of that's water and a 16-ounce bottle. I think that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and get started. And what I like to do is go ahead and just give us a lot of masking tape on this. We did wipe this down earlier. I don't even remember. This may have to come off. And if it does, another great demonstration. It is really easy to get that off of there. Now we do have this kit set to go around these fenders. You may find it pretty easy to take them off, but I do like it there as that line up. Once I get it taped up, if I need to take that off, I can show you how to pop those fenders off. Very easy to do. I think it's 5 twists on the bottom, and there's like some little clips on the bottom of those fenders. Pretty easy to do. And again, I'm just kind of pre-tacking this stuff so I know how I don't have to keep looking for this tape. And we'll go back over this again. I can already see some dust that's collected on here. We do have the AC on in here. Something else you want to consider is doing this in a temperature controlled environment. You do not want to do this outside. Typically that sweet spot's in the low 70s, 70 to 75. And again, I just want to go make sure there's no dust or debris on there. This one did have a kit already on it, which we removed. So we did our best to get the contaminants off of that, what was left on it. Hated to see previous kits where people cut on the vehicle. We did see that on here. Did our best to get that cleaned up. And again, this is just that alcohol water mix. Just want to make sure all that's off. I think the hardest part of this is that gas cap. We do not pre-cut the gas cap. That way, if you need a little wiggle room, you have it, and we can always go back and trim that out. This being a black vehicle really makes it a lot easier. You're not going to see, if you're off a little bit, you're not going to see it. But again, these kits are cut really, really well for you. I'm going to go ahead and just lay this all out. We're going to go rear to front. There is no set order for that, so it doesn't matter, but you can kind of see the layout for this. And I believe when you did this on the two-door, it will sit right over, should have about a 1/4 inch, a little less than a 1/4 inch laying over that edge. And I'm going to go ahead and tape there for now. Follow that body line. Go ahead and do a piece of tape on top. Come back here, do one on the back. You can see it kind of follow that edge. You do want to make sure that these are clean. When you go back on there, I did wipe that table down before I laid these out, so I hope I'm not picking anything up. And again, there's your mark. That's already pre-cut for that handle. That lined up really nicely with that top line. I believe this sits right above that spear. I'm going to tape top. Now this tape's on the side, will come back up. Obviously we're going to put another graphic over that, but again, I'm just wanting to position right now. And if we need to adjust a little bit, we can. I want to get it all taped up. We can stand back, take a look at it, make sure it's all straight. We talk about measuring, that spear in these doors. I know on my Bronco isn't always perfect from Ford. My rear door sits about a 1/16 of an inch higher than the front. So going from this measurement, you want to just do the stripe straight by itself and then kind of split the difference on what's where it's going to fall between the OEM creases. A lot of people ask about the vinyl we use. So you can see this is 3M. Lots of films will say 3M on the back, but it's not always the same type of film. This is a cast film, so this is what we use for commercial vehicle graphics. It's printed on a 180 MC, which again is premium for the market. This is going to be basically some of the best film we can get. It's going to give us the longest durability. It's also very conformable. In this case, you don't really have to have that because you're just doing flat surfaces, but as you get into the bends and the rolls and stuff like that, again, we want to make sure we have the best we have on there. We've also seen this kit, yep, no, it's going to have to come off. So we also have seen this kit done with the colors flipped. We have the lighter colors on the bottom and the darker colors on top, and we can do that as well. So let's just pull this aside for now. Again, show you how easy this comes up. It really is. You can heat it We even have a, I do have some fingernails, so I'm just going to kind of lightly grab that corner. And once you get that started, make sure your hands are clean. And then kind of pull out, not lift straight up. Now I can use that heat gun. Lay this back down on some backing paper. Once we cut this away, lay that back down. That way we can save that logo. I just want to make sure there's no adhesive left on there to get under our graphic. So again, this is that alcohol mix. That's it. Alright, so from here, I've got everything taped. I want to stand back and make sure I got all the marks, top, rear. I'm going to stand back and kind of just take a look at this, make sure that's all straight. You can also get to either the front or the back, look down that line of the car. Then you'll see if it's going to pop up or pop down. We're looking at that line, there's black lines. I can't tell this is coming up. Yeah, let's do this. All right, so now we're getting ready to get this thing. We've got it all taped up. We stepped back, we got it measured, happy where it's at. I'm right over my rolling chair, and we're gonna go ahead and get this started. I think I mentioned if you start front to back, it really doesn't matter. It just depends on what you're more comfortable with. I do like the front to back. And again, make sure we have these marks, because like in this case, we don't have that hinge on the bottom. So I'm going to go from the mark here and a mark here to come back and get that laid on. Once this comes back, once we get to about here, we're going to have to pull this back up, and we'll put a piece of tape up here just to roll that back. But again, I do want that to kind of give me that line up here. Or you can do this. Get yourself a piece of tape. You know where that's going to lay. And you can pull that back. And just remember, am I going to that little edge of white, or am I going directly to the yellow? Because once you lay that down, you're going to have, well, you still have the mask on it. So I'm going to do it right to that edge of that white, which will be clear once we pull off the backing paper. So get that out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and be on y'all's level and do this plastic squeegee that will be provided. And again, if you see me in these videos, I like to just kind of make my marks like this. And I brought over my tools, so I should have all those here with me. Make another piece right here. Just give me a little bit more on that. And again, cleanliness is key in this. You want to make sure. I went ahead and cleaned this whole vehicle so I don't get this thing. If this comes back and hits the fender flare, I'm okay. But you do want these clean. You as well. I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna make my mark here. Make my mark here. And again, this is dry install vinyl. I think I mentioned what the brand was at 180, but it did not say this is not a wet install kit. A little bit there, and this is the beauty of it. We can just lift that right back up. Now that we've got that top part tacked, we can come back. Now I've got a pretty firm grass mat. This is where you want to have that soft edge as we're getting here onto that paint. But we're gonna be all right. Let's go right to there. You still kind of want to go center out with that. Come right back over. And you can see where that's going to tuck right into that fender. And now we'll come back over and do the front. Again, that mask allows that vinyl really not to shift. It will stretch a little bit, but if we needed to lift this back up, it really wouldn't stretch. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but not too much. I'm going to come back about halfway. I got this kind of pulled back like that. Make sure I'm back on my spot again. So there's a little wrinkle there. We'll just pull that right back up. Let that lace. So we talk about this all the time. We design these kits to be as easy as possible for the do-it-yourselfer. This is a pretty big kit, so if you have any fears or any concerns, watch the video, see if you want to take a shot at it. I believe this kit does come with our IPC, which is an install protection guarantee. If you mess up a piece, we'll send you out a new piece. There is some stipulations with that. You need pictures. We want to know what happened, and so on and so on. I know I got sawtooth spots here, so I'm going to go ahead and get this off. See if we can poke that out, or we can kind of lift up a little bit and get that back down. But both of these come out without any issue. Again, just want to make sure we're lifting the transfer paper, not the graphic. Struggling with that here. There we go. When you pull this off, you want to pull against the vinyl. You don't want to pull this straight out. So you don't want to lift that back up. So I got a little bit there I got to work with. All right, I'm going to bring over a trash can, and then I'm going to get right under it. I'm going to fix that spot right there in the fender. Alright, so a little bit of surgery here. You can see where we have some of these wrinkles. I'm pretty sure that would come out if we go right up, but I'm going to go ahead and just pull this back, kind of give you an example of how durable this film is. We are going to need the heat gun for this, but I'm going to go ahead and just lift this back. I'm going to go all the way to that bottom one there. You're thinking, oh my god, what are you doing? Just make sure it doesn't roll over on itself. So I've got about right there, got that little bubble in there. Let me go grab that heat gun. Again, make sure your hands are clean. Got that nice and warm. Talked about that soft edge. So I'm gonna wrap this right around there. And nice even strokes. Oops, right there, I didn't hit that bottom part. Well, let's do that again. So that was caused by not using a firm enough when I put that down the first time. I didn't get enough squeegee on that. So you just need to be careful not to pull on that so you don't stretch it. And we can go back with that heat and make sure everything's good. And you're good. All right, let's keep moving. That's me want to just tuck all that in. Once that's all tucked, again, you can go back and now here we got our fresh blade right against this edge. So what we're going to do is let the seam of this door drag along the top edge of that so we're not cutting on the paint. And once you open this door, we can get back in there and make sure that's tucked, but I've got that vinyl still taped up on the back. So we'll go back and do that detail work a little bit at the end. We'll do that later. Make sure we're still matched up. Now I can do that tape here. I got my hinge here. Let's go further back. Did on the other side. I'm not going to have that mark there, but so I really just want to just tack it. Start that hinge. And I still want to go overlapping strokes. Right there where we're supposed to be. I'm going to hold that firm. So it's not laying on there, but it's laying on the back of that. I got that backing paper rolled. You don't want to go too tight with that because you don't want to get an adhesion line. Again, right about there. Alright, now we're just going the same direction. thing. This is right like that, soft squeegee. And again, once we open this door, we can kind of get a better tuck into that. Let's go ahead and hit that back. This one I could have done that same cut. I want to have a little bit extra just to roll this. This is going to be the door you open up the most. Let's take a look and see where this rolls in. I want to make sure I did clean this earlier. I'm just going to roll that in. Start right. Remember, one of those overlapping strokes. If we need to lift up again, we can, but I really don't want it to lay on that body. While it's similar to wrap vinyl, it is not exactly the same. The air channels aren't the same, but they are air release. See, I got a little spot right there. I can already see it. Alright, so additionally this laminate is self-healing, or has self-healing properties I should say, so any light surface scratches on that gloss will come out with that heat gun. And again, coming over onto that paint, this mirror-like black paint, you do want to be careful with that. So I would recommend getting that felt squeegee on there, just to protect if you want that, or just be real careful again as you're coming off that edge. Remember to make sure your hands are clean, as I am handling this vinyl on the bottom side, trying to be as delicate as I can, but this mask is pretty, it's tacky. So as you get to that, or just remember, let that relax. You can go back and it'll be fine. As you can tell, most of these little bubbles I got weren't from going all the way over. So again, I think that's that squeegee being a little bit too cautious on that edge. So if you want to wrap that up, you can even put a piece of masking tape over the edge of that. That's an old school trick as well. And then go back to that. Remember, this door opens, so let's go ahead and tuck this edge. I'm going to go ahead and pop this out real quick, just real light. And now, I don't think we have, there we go. Just run your finger over that lightly and roll that edge in. That really should just go right in. Good. This one's a little trickier because you have this corner here. So I like to do a little tiny splice right on that corner just to relieve that. Let's go ahead and do this bottom edge. And then I'm going to grab that heat gun. Pull and a roll around that, just a little, really very slight. We're going to just roll it and push that back edge down. I can't even see that, but good. All right. We got one more section to do, and then we got that gas cap. All right, so we're back for our last piece. Want to make sure we are all lined up. We're gonna hit right there. So let's put a piece of tape right there. Let's check our back. That looks good. All right, remember this is a little trickier because you don't have the hinge here. So we do want to make sure we have some lineups here. Might go ahead and put another one on the back here. One on the back, lower side. We are going to have a cut along that where it goes from the fender to that rear bumper or the rear taillight piece right here. So we'll have a little crease in there, and we'll have to cut very carefully along that edge. But for now, I got my scissors, my squeegee, and I'm going to go ahead and make those 1, 2, 3. Remember, we do want to try to not let this touch, and we just give it a slight tug to get our position and work our way down. And work down on that fender. There's a little bit of some contour there, so you do want to be careful as you work your way down. I'm going to lift this up again so we don't get any air trapped under there. You know, it says air release. It goes down smooth, but it still isn't 100%. Again, this isn't like wrap film. Wrap film truly is that 3M 1080, 2080. I think we are good. Alright, so I kind of work center out and then find a spot. I got all that tacked. I'm going to work back down that side to get back into that fender. If I need to lift this up again, it may be easy to take this off, but I think this looks pretty good. I like having that fender there as a lineup, but again, if we need to get up some bubbles, you know, again, this isn't the easiest to get those bubbles out of, but you saw me earlier lift up, lay it back down. It will do that, but you don't want to do that a lot. So while it's fresh on there now, this looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and start this end. right, that was pretty good. A little bit of distortion there. There we go. And this will come back to. Let's go ahead and knock out this back side real quick. So there's a little bit right there. I'm sure we can get that back up again once we spliced it, but since this is a small piece, you did me wrong. Come on. And don't hurt yourself. You'll have a little bit to roll that bottom edge. All right. Remember, this is that one we're going to have to cut. We just want to barely cut that line. And I am right-handed, so I'm going to get up over that. And really just want to be so light and let that just barely drag in that seam. Hardly any pressure on that. You may need to work that in just in that little corner right there. All right. That gas cap is my least favorite part, but again, I've done this so many times. Okay, so the trick to this gas cap, again, we've got that on there. I don't want to heat that in there, but I do want to make sure this is tacked where I want it. I want to have that seam on there. And again, I've got this blade where I can get just a little bit out on that. I've got a little bevel on there. You really want to just pick a lane, which is the one in the middle of that, and kind of just guide that through. And I'm going to come back down on top and meet that just so close. Done. Now we can roll that edge. Same thing on this outside edge on here. You can see we've got just enough to cover that edge. And it's still, again, this cast film is so soft, especially when that mask is removed. You can just there you go. Alright, so we've got the whole side done. We're going to regroup, and I'm going to go ahead and get set up to do that hood. and we'll go back over post heating and all that detailed stuff when we're done with that. All right, so we're back for the hood. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side after the hood so we can get this video going. But we did have to remove that hood graphic for the Wild Track on this one. It came off remarkably well. I think this is pretty much a brand new one. So we just got that quick polish on that, make sure we got that edge off of there. And again, these hoods are not exact same size as the Wild Track. They're a little bit different. They're actually a little bit bigger. I think it's just about like 1/4 of an inch. I have done these so many times that I know about where those go, but I did not bring any tape. Give me 1 second to get that tape. As much as I talk about tape, you'd think I'd have this stuff everywhere. 1, 2, 3. We'll put one over here. And again, I hate touching the hoods of these things. I try to keep everything so clean. So again, I like to use that trail sight, and then I can rest on this. Not too much weight on here. It's soft, but it will support a little bit of weight. So you're going to want about a 1/16 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit less. Find it as long as it's the same on the other side, you're good to go. What I like to do is go ahead and find a fixed spot here. Take my edge. Look at that edge on your back side here. Run around to the other side, and if you want to measure, you can measure to the seam of that hood. Again, I've done this enough times, I know exactly where I want to be. I will measure just to be sure, and a tape measure. So from that back edge, looks like we're right at 8 inches. Back edge, and we were like a 32nd of an inch. I am 100% good with that. All right, so I've got hinge top and bottom, or sides. We are going to hinge this side, so that's why I like to leave a little bit exposed paint here on the side. Not a big deal. Ford does it as well. If you want to roll that, you can just bring it a little bit further back. That is not how it is designed. We do have that designed to show just a little bit of that paint. Make sure all these are nice and tight. I left stuff everywhere. So I'm going to start driver's side and work my way over that way because my squeegee's over here. Remember, we talked about that method I like just to kind of get that started. There's my lineup. And there's never any easy way to do this. It's always a little bit awkward. I don't know if you saw, I do have some benches that I can stand on to get up here. Additionally, once you get up there, you can stand on that tire, which will give you a little bit a little bit higher. You can roll that a little bit, so be careful not to lose your balance. This is always a bit of an balancing act. And again, we want to start that edge. There we go. And overlapping strokes. Try to hold that material up just lightly. You will end up right back where you started on that tape. This tape is 100% lined up. We'll come back on that passenger side. We can remove our tape. Make our mark. Again, never pretty. Again, just real lightly holding that up. And again, that's what that transfer paper is for, is to kind of hold all that material in place. Now I can go back a little harder. You see my tape's lined up perfectly there. Remember, this is that, you don't want to lift straight up on this. I'm just going to go 180 degrees with that vinyl. And this is vinyl on vinyl, so we do have a matte black sitting right on top of that printed vinyl. You may need to go in and just go over that edge. That looks good though. Alright. I got that antenna off just so I could maneuver a little bit easier. Man, that looks great. I just want to go right along that edge, make sure that's sealed good. All right, that is really it. Like I said, if you go back and you do want to post heat with that heat gun, just go over all your work. Don't let that heat gun sit too long, but you just kind of want to go over that lightly. This material will take a lot of heat, so again, we're going to try to get up to about 180, 200 degrees. I know y'all don't have a way to measure that at home, so again, get that nice and warm. As far as maintenance and care, you can look for that on our site. The gloss laminate is resilient. It's awesome. I wouldn't be extremely harsh with it, but if you want to put some ceramic coating on that, you can. Same thing for the matte finish. I do recommend that as soon as you can. Any bird poop or contaminants, sap, that will stain this. So you do want to make sure you get something on there, even if it's just quick detail. Keep it clean, keep a coating of something on there just to keep that clean. I like to keep a bottle of quick detail and a clean microfiber in my vehicle at all times. Forget I'd ever see something, go real light with it, get that off. Should be good to go. Again, that's about a 1.5 to 2 year vinyl on the hood. Sides are going to be much longer with this gloss, even longer than that. If you have any questions, give us a call. And again, look for this 4-bar kit, 2-door and 4-door, to be up on the site very soon. If you have any questions, you know how to reach us. Thank you.